In the 1960s, the teaching was that for people to afford their retirement, they would require at least 60% of what they were earning at the time. And in the 1970s, this figure went up to 70%. So you would need 70% of what you are earning at the current time in order for you to be able to retire and maintain the same lifestyle and standard of living that you were living at the time. In the 80s, guess what? It went up to 80% was what you would need in order to live the same comfortable life that you were living at the time with your earnings. And in the 90s, again, you guessed it right, it went to 90%. You would need 90% of your annual earnings in order to survive and to maintain the same level of standard of living that you're enjoying. And in the 2000s, again, it went up to at least 100%. So the moral of the story is that you need more and more money with inflation and increases in prices in order for you to maintain your same standard of living that you're enjoying now. You need a lot more money to do that. So if you take an average, for example, that you need £50,000 of £50,000 a year in order to live and survive and maintain your standard of living in retirement. And let's say you're 40 and you're looking to retire at 60, for example. Yeah, in order to get £50,000 a year. Yeah, if you take an average that let's say you get a return on your money of 5%, it means you need £1,000,000 earning 5% for you to get 50,000 a year, which means you need to have that money saved up and in the bank by the time that you're 60 in order for you to live and get 50,000 pounds, which is exactly what you're earning now, and also that should maintain your standard of living. Now, that is excluding inflation, for example, and the cost of living, which if that goes up, then you actually need a lot more than the £1,000,000 pounds for you to survive. But that at least gives you an idea of the amount of money. So if that is the amount that you need, where are you at this stage, at this present moment? Do you have a plan? Are you on the path to saving that money up if you want to maintain your standard of living? Or are you gonna those who are going to rely on the state to help you, on the social system to actually help you to live a plan? If not, then you need a plan. Otherwise, you get to depend on the state. You should, and that plan could include start putting that money aside, start saving that, and work out how much you need to save up in order to have that money so that you can start living on it. But the standard of living and the cost of living right now, even the statistics show that it's very difficult for a lot of people to actually save up that money, which means you should be looking at what it is that you can do, because financial mastery is actually it's basically a game of mathematics, and it's a game of probabilities, and it's a science. So its outcomes are actually predictable. There's rules that govern it, and if you follow those, the outcomes themselves will also follow. So it's just pure, simple science, mathematics, probability. So it goes, for example, if you have if you are disciplined enough to save money, let's say it's 10% of your income every single month, over a period of a year, you're going to build up a specific size of pot. If you invest that in a savings or loan it out with security to someone at a specific rate, you're going to receive a certain amount of money. And within that, you're going to get compound interest as well. So it is a science, it's mathematics and it's probabilities. And if you put in certain things within that, the outcomes are very predictable. And that is financial mastery. So if you value money, and if this story of the amount of money that you need to maintain your lifestyle has shocked you, and you need to raise building finance and building money and building wealth high up your values, then you need to value that in itself by studying and investing in mentors, and even start monitoring and building your investments, so that at least you have a plan and you're on that journey, you're on that path towards reaching the target, the goal that you would like. If that is quite important to you, to maintain your lifestyle by the time you get into retirement, rather than relying on this with money that will not even cover a lot of your basics, which means your standard of living is gonna drop because you haven't had a plan under this financial mastery to give yourself financial independence, so that you have a lot of choices and in terms of the things that you can do and the standard of living that you can do. So I hope you go out there and start to experience, learn, and grow, and start to build that plan of what you're going to do. Because if you look at these figures, the amount of money that you will need in the future to maintain your standard of living is going up and up and up. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to find yourself in a difficult situation on having to rely on the state and not have enough money to cover yourself and also to maintain the same standard of living that you would like. So I hope you go out there, experience, learn, and grow, and start your plan. Start investing money, start putting money aside. Let those investments grow, let those savings grow, and then invest them securely into areas which can earn you a lot more on those savings, and compound the interest, and start yourself up on a way to building wealth. So until next time, cheerio.